People love being chemists in their kitchen and trying to concoct these at-home remedies for their skin, hair, and nails. And often, these at-home remedies can actually cause irritation and worsen your underlying issue. Well, my skin-savvy friends, today's video is going to give you 10 at-home remedies that actually work for your skin, hair, or nails. So welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Dr. Swati Cannon, and I am a board-certified dermatologist out here in California. Now, I will be honest, most at-home remedies are kind of a disaster, like lemons on your skin. Vitamin C in lemons is not the same as vitamin C that comes in a bottle. I usually recommend to leave most of your kitchen condiments and spices for your food instead of on your skin. But there are some remedies that are not harmful and that may help, and so we're going to talk about those today. Additionally, I want to review the term natural. Doesn't mean it's always better. Poison ivy is natural, and you definitely don't want to rub that all over your skin. But I understand the need to use fewer chemicals and to be clean and green when it comes to not only our skincare, but the at-home products that we use and really just anything that we do in life. So that's why I kind of wanted to make this video so that you have an idea of what things are actually useful that you could try at home. And also remember that the term natural on skincare products or in social media, that term is not regulated at all. So it's really just a marketing gimmick. The first at-home ingredient is actually for your hair, and that is rosemary oil. I am sure by this point you have all heard about how rosemary oil is effective for hair growth. I usually recommend buying rosemary essential oil versus trying to make it at home. I don't even know how you would make or distill rosemary oil from rosemary. So just buy the rosemary essential oil and use it at home. Based on a study published in 2015, using rosemary oil is equivalent to 2% minoxidil, also called Rogaine, for hair loss. Now, this is just one study. One study that I know of. And so how much can we really base off of this one study? Well, not too much, but rosemary oil is definitely not harmful when used properly. And so that's why I'm okay with you guys trying rosemary oil for hair growth, and I have seen some good success from it. Like I said, rosemary oil is equivalent to 2% minoxidil. Minoxidil is a generic for Rogaine, and Rogaine is the most commonly recommended treatment for hair loss by dermatologists. Now, I usually recommend 5% Rogaine, which is over the counter, and this study was comparing rosemary oil to 2% Rogaine. I never recommend 2% Rogaine. So we can probably say that rosemary oil isn't as effective as 5% minoxidil, but that's okay. So the way we think rosemary oil helps is that it has anti-inflammatory properties, and it also probably increases the circulation to your scalp. And that's very similarly to how Rogaine works for hair loss as well. Now, do not use rosemary oil directly onto the scalp because it can be really irritating. So here are 2 ways to incorporate rosemary oil into your hair routine. The first way is to use 5 drops of rosemary oil in a carrier oil like coconut oil or jojoba oil. And you then take this mixed oil concoction and rub it onto your scalp for 5 to 10 minutes. You want to leave this on at least for 4 to 6 hours or even overnight before you rinse it all off with a shampoo. And you want to do this regimen 2 to 3 times a week. If you are going to be applying any sort of hair oils overnight, make sure you then use like a bandana or a hair cap when you go to sleep so that you don't get too much hair oil on your pillow and so that you don't get it on your face or forehead. A lot of these oils can be comedogenic, meaning that they can cause acne, so you really want to prevent it from getting it on your face. The second way to use rosemary oil is to add 2 to 3 drops in your shampoo. You then massage this shampoo onto your scalp for 5 to 10 minutes. So it is a long massage, but massage it into your scalp and then you can just shampoo it off. This obviously is not as effective as an overnight treatment, but it's better than nothing. You can also buy a product that contains rosemary oil, like the Aveda Rosemary Mint Shampoo, and use this instead of adding rosemary oil to a shampoo. And to see a difference from rosemary oil, it takes about 6 months to a year. This is very similar to Rogaine, which also takes 6 months to a year. So just be patient and consistent. By the way, if you want to learn more about how to treat hair loss, please watch these 2 videos where I go into depth about why we get hair loss, what kind of treatments we have for hair loss, and what I can do in my office to help treat that hair loss. Related to rosemary oil is coconut oil for hair. So coconut oil can be very helpful to hydrate the ends of your hair, and it helps with dry or damaged hair. This is because the main ingredient in coconut oil that is helpful is called lauric acid, and lauric acid has an affinity, meaning that it loves the proteins on your hair shaft. And so this product gets absorbed by your hair shaft, thus helping it to hydrate. I recommend using coconut oil as a pre-shampoo moisturizing conditioner. So look for extra virgin coconut oil because this means it's not so refined. And you basically apply it to the hair ends and you can leave it on overnight and then shampoo it off the next day. You can also do this 2 to 3 times a week. Some people also use coconut oil and massage it directly onto the scalp. But for some, massaging the scalp with the coconut oil can actually make it more itchy. So for example, when I was a young child, my grandmother would always massage coconut oil into my scalp and it would make my scalp so itchy that even as a 5-year-old kid, I would just go into the bathroom and shampoo the oil off my hair. So not everyone can tolerate it, but if you can, it does have anti-inflammatory properties and it can help. My great-grandmother actually used coconut oil every single day, and even in her 80s, she had a lot of hair and it was pretty dark for her age. But this is of course just one story, and there's so many factors for why people have healthy dark hair. So this is just one story, but coconut oil can be helpful. That's the moral of the story. And similarly to rosemary oil, if you do use coconut oil overnight, do not get it on your face. So make sure you wrap your hair, wear a hair cap. Pure coconut oil is actually comedogenic, meaning that it can clog pores. So for people who have acne, you really want to not get coconut oil on your face. By the way, when coconut oil is used in skincare products, it is modified so that it's no longer comedogenic. So just FYI. Another interesting thing about coconut oil is that it might be helpful for eczema-prone patients. So there was a randomized trial back in 2014 where pediatric patients who have eczema, so children who have eczema, used virgin coconut oil and found an improvement in their eczema and dry skin. So if you have eczema and dry skin and you're not acne prone, you can definitely use coconut oil to moisturize your body. You just really have to rub it in. Like I said before, just don't use it on your face. By the way, have you used rosemary oil or coconut oil for your scalp? If so, let me know and comment below. And even if you've tried any other oils that have worked for you, I would love to hear about it. So let me know. The next at-home remedy that you can try for your skin is rose water. So rose water is incredibly soothing and it has a lot of anti-inflammatory properties. You can either just purchase rosewater toner like the Stayer rosewater toner, or you can boil rosewater petals. Obviously, you have to cool that water down before using it on your skin, but you can boil rosewater petals if you want to make it at home. Once you have your toner or you make your rose water, you can just use some cotton pads and apply it to your face. And it's very helpful for rosacea prone skin or just for sensitive skin to cool that skin down. Similarly to rose water, green tea is another powerful antioxidant and a powerful anti-inflammatory that you can make at home and use for your skin. So you can actually combine green tea with rose water to make this pretty powerful anti-inflammatory concoction. The way you do that is you boil 2 bags of green tea in 1 cup of water for about 15 minutes. So usually you'll steep green tea in boiling water for, 3 to 5 minutes. But if you want to make this concoction, you want to boil it for 15 minutes. You then add about 1/3 to 1/2 cup of rose water into this green tea water. And then you pour it into a spray bottle. So now you have your green tea rose mist that is anti-inflammatory and good for rosacea skin. Obviously, cool this down before you spray hot water onto your skin. I feel like that's common sense, but I don't know why I still have to say it. And ideally, if you're going to be putting anything warm, use a glass spray mist bottle instead of a plastic spray mist bottle, just so that you can avoid any plastic BPA issues. Once you're done making this green tea rose water concoction, don't throw away the green tea bags. You can then take these green tea bags and refrigerate them, and then you can put them under your eyes to depuff your eyelids. So this is similar to the coffee grounds that I showed in my previous video, but the combination of the cold and the caffeine does help to depuff the eyes temporarily. You can also just get a caffeinated eye cream. That's what I said in my last video too, but the whole point of this video is to give you at-home remedies. So this is a good at-home remedy to depuff your eyes. Now the next at-home remedy that you can try is oatmeal baths, especially if you have dry skin or eczema prone skin. In fact, Aveeno Skincare uses oats in its products for its eczema line because oat is an emollient, meaning that it not only helps to hydrate, but it can also help repair the skincare barrier. So I really love oatmeal baths for eczema patients. The way you do this is in lukewarm water, so basically in a tub of water, and the water should be lukewarm, not hot. You can add about 1/2 cup to 1.5 cup of pure oats. So use raw oats with no added sugar or apple cinnamon. So just raw oats is what you need to use. And you soak the oats for 10 to 15 minutes, and then you can get into the water yourself. The other way to have oatmeal baths is to actually make colloidal oatmeal at home. So you basically grind raw plain oats, and then it becomes this colloidal oatmeal, which is a more powdery powdery form of oatmeal, and then you can just add 1 cup of colloidal oatmeal to the bath, and this makes the oat dissolve better in the water, so it makes it more effective. The downside of oatmeal baths is that it might clog your drain, so just FYI, to minimize the drain clogging issues, you can actually take colloidal oatmeal and put it in like a muslin bag, almost like a giant tea bag, and tie it, put it into the bath, and all the goodness from the oats will come out into the water without causing a clog in your drain. Similarly, you can also use colloidal oatmeal paste for your face, especially if you get like a sunburn or you have a really dry patch, just because it is very soothing. So like I said, colloidal oatmeal is a very common ingredient. It is an emollient. And if you want to learn how to incorporate other forms of moisturizers in your skincare, by the way, you can check out this video where I give moisture recommendations based on your skin type. Similarly to a colloidal oatmeal bath, bleach baths can also be very effective for eczema patients. Bleach baths are also good for patients who get a lot of staph infections. So to a tub of lukewarm water, you can add a 1/4 cup of Clorox bleach. Yes, Clorox bleach. And I know this sounds insane, and I'm going to have a lot of haters who can't believe I'm recommending bleach, but it's not just me, it's almost every dermatologist out there, including pediatric dermatologists, and we recommend bleach baths for 10 to 15 minutes at a time, 2 to 3 times a week for a lot of our eczema patients. So one, eczema is a chronic inflammatory condition with symptoms of dry, red, itchy skin. What happens is that first you have an itchy skin and then you scratch it and that skin then becomes rashy. So we call eczema the itch that rashes versus the rash that itches. So it's the itch that rashes. And eczema is not the same as having sensitive skin. It is not the same as having an allergic reaction. Even though it's used a lot, people misuse the term eczema. True eczema is really a chronic inflammatory condition that can be pretty severe and debilitating for a lot of people. The other issue with eczema is that the microbiome, so the actual bacteria that live on our skin, are altered. And this altered microbiome contributes more to the inflammation. So the bleach baths are regulating the microbiome to a more healthier state, thus decreasing the flares of eczema. Now, if you have severe eczema with a lot of cuts from scratching your skin, then a bleach bath might obviously burn. In this case, you can actually dilute the bleach even more. You can also combine colloidal oatmeal and a bleach bath together, and that way you have the hydration and the antibacterial effect both in one combo. Once you come out of the bleach bath, you really want to moisturize your skin. So leave your skin damp and then put a nice thick layer of moisturizer on top, and this will help to hydrate your skin after a bleach bath. Now moving on, the next at-home remedy you can try is actually dilute white vinegar anytime you have surgery on your skin or if you have any skin cuts. Personally, I'm a skin cancer surgeon, and when I do any sort of skin cancer surgery, I recommend the patients clean their wound with dilute white vinegar instead of other things like soap and water or hydrogen peroxide or alcohol. I tell people, white vinegar is good for your countertops and your skin, and that's because dilute white vinegar is antiseptic and it's gentle enough that it doesn't kill the good cells that we need for wound healing. So what I recommend is in 1 cup of water, you can mix 2 to 3 tablespoons of white vinegar, not any other type of vinegar, white vinegar. You can save this mixture in the fridge for up to a week at a time, so you don't have to make it every single day. You then dip gauze into this dilute white vinegar solution and take this soaked gauze and kind of just dab it on your surgical wound or any other wound, and you do that for about 30 seconds. Then you dab it dry with dry gauze, and then you'll just put any sort of ointment on top and followed by a dressing. So like I said, I recommend white vinegar over any other forms of cleaning to all my surgical patients. You can also use dilute white vinegar for frayed cuticles. So if your cuticles are red and inflamed, that could be a condition called chronic paronychia. Paronychia means inflammation of the cuticle. And this is often caused by actually fungal or yeast infections. It can also be caused by bacterial infections. And so because dilute white vinegar is so antiseptic, you can actually soak your nails in the dilute white vinegar for up to 5 minutes twice a day. And if you do this for several weeks, you will see that the redness will improve. Speaking about fungus around the nails, a lot of patients have toenail fungus, and this is a very difficult and common problem within dermatology. And it's difficult to treat because the only medicine that really helps for toenail fungus is a pill, and this pill interacts with medicines that a lot of people are taking usually, and it can also have some side effects on the liver. So we only use the pill if absolutely needed. Instead, what I actually recommend is using Vicks Vapor Rub along with tea tree oil for toenail fungus. I know Vicks isn't like technically homemade, but we all grew up with it. So I feel like we're all familiar with what Vicks is. But Vicks has menthol, and menthol has antifungal properties. So I recommend a combination of tea tree oil and Vicks Vapor Rub. The tea tree oil comes as a dropper, and you just put a few drops under each toenail. You then apply the Vicks Vapor Rub over each toenail, and you do this twice a day. And if you wear socks on top, it helps to occlude all of this in for the nails. It takes at least 6 months though to see a difference, and it sometimes can take up to a whole year to see a difference because toenail fungus just takes a very long time to respond to really any treatment. Even prescription treatments, it takes 3 to 6 months to respond. Now, speaking of tea tree oil, I know a lot of people will wonder, like, can I use tea tree oil on my skin for acne or for anything else? I personally don't like using tea tree oil for the skin because it can be incredibly irritating. Tea tree oil is antibacterial, it is antifungal. There is research to show that it does actually help for acne. But because irritation can also worsen acne, I feel like it's harder to use tea tree oil without causing irritation. So if you do want to try it, use tea tree oil under 5% and use very little amount, followed by moisturizing and hydration so that you don't get too much irritation. The last at-home remedy is to use aloe vera for sunburns. And this is a very well-known at-home remedy, and it does have some merit. Now, I don't really recommend taking an aloe vera plant and rubbing it all over your skin unless you're stranded on an island. I recommend using skincare with aloe vera. So whether it's an aloe vera gel or a cream with aloe vera, because this is going to be a lot less sticky than aloe vera from a plant. Aloe doesn't really cure the sunburn, but it helps to soothe and calm down some of the inflammation. So it's more calming and soothing. Now, obviously, the best thing is to not get a sunburn in the first place by wearing sunscreen and SPF clothing and avoiding the sun at its peak, using shade whenever possible. So the best thing is to avoid getting a sunburn, but if you get one, aloe is something great to have at home. Those are the top 10 at-home remedies that you can try for your skin, hair, and nails. Now, this is not the end of my video, so don't go anywhere yet. But if you are finding this video helpful so far, please subscribe and share this video with your friends and family who would also find it helpful. Now, there are several ingredients in this video so far that you might be wondering about, and I have not mentioned. Turmeric is one of them. It is a big beauty ingredient because it has a lot of anti-inflammatory properties, and it is antibacterial, so a lot of acne-prone patients want to try turmeric. The ingredient in turmeric that has all these properties, it's curcumin. So curcumin is the chemical in turmeric that has all these anti-inflammatory properties. But how much curcumin is in turmeric is variable, and it's not regulated at all. So you can have one type of turmeric powder that has a crap ton of curcumin and another type of turmeric powder that has very little. Curcumin is irritating also. So if you use too much of it, you're going to get irritation. That's why I don't recommend DIY turmeric masks at home, because I don't know how much curcumin is in that turmeric powder and it's gonna give you irritation. So I just recommend ingesting turmeric instead of using it in skincare. So there are some skincare product lines who do use turmeric in their skincare products, and I think this is fine because they probably, hopefully they're gonna limit how much curcumin is in the skincare product. Cinnamon is another similar ingredient. So cinnamon is incredibly healthy, especially when it's ingested in small amounts, but if you ingest too much cinnamon, it can be deadly. And similarly, on your skin, cinnamon is incredibly irritating. People often want to use cinnamon DIY lip masks because the irritation from the cinnamon makes your lips look plumper. I mean, yes, temporarily your lips look plumpy, but you can get irritation, which can then cause dryness and chapped lips from using cinnamon. So I really recommend against it. Additionally, cinnamon on your skin can cause a chemical burn, and turmeric can do the same if used in, high concentrations on your skin. But cinnamon especially can cause a chemical burn, so you just want to avoid cinnamon on your skin. A lot of people also make raw egg masks. This is like a no-no because there's a risk of salmonella with raw eggs, and I just don't know why anybody would risk it. Don't put raw eggs on your skin. Honey is often also used as DIY skin masks. Honey is actually not that irritating. It has a lot of antibacterial properties, and we even use it in dermatology for wounds. I have said this before, I am vegan and I am plant-based for ethical reasons, and so I try my best to support non-animal based products and non-animal based remedies. And most dermatologists, we also don't really like olive oil, which I know like JLo's entire skincare line is based on olive oil, but we don't really like olive oil for the skin. And while olive oil does have anti-inflammatory properties, it can also create a breeding ground for bacteria because pure olive oil is heavy, it doesn't really get absorbed, and it basically creates a breeding ground for bacteria. So I really don't recommend using olive oil on your skin. I think it's better to ingest it than to put it on your skin. Now, olive olive oil in skincare products is probably more refined and it's not going to have the same issues as extra virgin olive oil on your skin. I've never really tried JLo skincare products, so I have no comments on it except don't put olive oil on your skin. So a lot of us become aware of these skincare trends and at-home remedies through social media. And so I really wanted to make this video, not to bash a lot of the at-home remedies, but to really provide some evidence-based support for at-home remedies that a lot of us have been wanting to try. But if you are wondering about other social media trends like derma rollers or facial yoga or facial massage, if you're wondering if any of those work, then check out this previous video that I did. I review several skincare devices and trends, and I let you know what's fiction and what's fact. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.